All right, I think we're live again now. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Just a technical issue there. But thankfully we were able to recover fairly quickly. Um, and we are back. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, you were saying something. I think you were talking and then got cut off with the technical issue.
I think we're good. Like we can,
Okay.
yeah, we
All right.
can
Excellent.
proceed.
So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking if we're able to improve on the prompt for the AI interviewer, then maybe we can get spicier posts that we can then use for generating better tweets. Maybe we can focus on like one of these tweets perhaps, or LinkedIn posts, one of these. Kind of make it work well and then move on to the others. So tweets, LinkedIn posts, blog posts. Um, okay, so let's see. Was there anything spicy in the first chat that I had? Probably not.
Yeah, no, I think there was some spiciness in it when you realize, um, like if one stock goes out, like and becomes non-halal, everything else drops because it's
Mm, yeah. Um,
and also the part where you talked about how how difficult it is to filter out halal, like what are the criteria to filter out halal stocks? Like what you will end up just having very few stocks to work with. That could, that could make even further edgy content. Do we need to define what edgy is, or it would
perhaps.
understand? Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. This feels like a shot in the dark, but I think this would be
It's a good starting point.
the dirty secret. Um, yeah. Wow. Okay. This is good.
Yeah, it's the same one we just mentioned.
I don't know. It feels like
See
a crybaby. Like a lot of these, the vibe I'm getting is just crybaby complaining about how,
how it's difficult,
yeah.
but the questions were basically that. So it was asking you how about the difficulty of even starting it. You were talking about how difficult it was to get started.
Okay. Yeah. It is. Yeah. A lot of the questions were about the difficulty, so I can understand why it's generating these posts. Um, but if we were in the process of an interview and we wanted to ask more questions that would bring out better content, um, okay, I kind of feel like I need maybe some help from ChatGPT before. Hey, ChatGPT. So I have an interview transcript and I need your help figuring out what questions to ask so that the resulting interview transcript, which will be used to generate Twitter posts, are more engaging. So I basically want to figure out how to eke out interesting content during the course of the interview by asking not the same monotonous rubbish, but finding interesting angles during the course of an interview that would maximize the likelihood of producing these these tweetable nuggets. So, can you provide me with a system prompt that I can feed the interviewer, the AI interviewer, in order to maximize the likelihood of this happening? That was repetitive and horrible. I mean, let's hope it understood what I actually meant. I feel like I'm losing my ability
Repeat
to speak
yourself.
English.
Welcome to the club, man.
Not sure joining the club is is a great
But don't
uh, is a
but
great
don't tell
move here.
anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Your goal is to
But
conduct an
don't.
engaging, insightful, and highly shareable interview that provides tweet-worthy moments. To achieve this, you must avoid generic, overused questions and focus on unexpected. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. This is beautiful. Find the contrarian or unexpected angle. Challenge convention. Oh my God. Mwah. This is beautiful. Seek unusual, counterintuitive insights that will grab attention. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Whoa. Oh, I'm loving this. Wow, this is amazing. Okay, okay, okay. If you're about to ask a question and you've heard it before, stop, flip it, make it weirder, sharper, or more personal. Oh, wow. That's this is gonna make for a very interesting interview. I think I kind of feel excited to try this. So let's go back to our assistant and okay. So we'll duplicate this and we will change the system prompt. But this is just completely different. Like this is hey Yazin, welcome to the show. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Let's give it a shot. I'm almost scared. I'm almost scared
You
to
know, I
try
think
this.
I think we should create like history for the prompt and how we progress the prompt from like
Yeah,
each
this is
step.
the original one. Your primary objectives: encouraging the user to share, proactively identify unique insights, ask further questions. Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
this
we
is
should
like the
add these.
friendly
Yeah.
friendly version. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna give this a shot. I guess you'll have to listen in from the stream.
All right. See you in the stream.
Alrighty.
Hey, Yazin, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? I'm excited to be talking to you today about halal investing.
Great. Before we dive in, could you give our listeners a quick introduction about who you are and what you're passionate about? But instead of the usual bio, maybe tell us about a moment that really defines why you do what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Yazin, and I'm the founder of a company called Amal Invest. And the sort of backstory to Amal Invest is I just started off. So it was around 2015. I sold a company and I had a bit of money. And, I was thinking about like how I'm going to what I'm going to do with the money. And the obvious thing is to invest. But as a Muslim investor, you can't just put your money into any investment. You have to do like a bit of digging to figure out if it's Sharia compliant or not. And that process of, trying to figure out what is compliant and what is not just kicked off this whole journey, which, ended up with me starting Amal Invest as a solution that just makes it easier for Muslims to invest their money. Because, it's just so horribly difficult to do myself, at the beginning. And yeah, I spent several years kind of, peeling back the different layers, trying to figure out like how to do halal investing. And, it was a very painful experience, but I forgot your question.
No, that's perfect, actually. You mentioned something really interesting there, that painful experience of trying to figure out halal investing. I'm curious, what was the single most frustrating moment in that journey that made you think this system is completely broken and someone needs to fix it?
The crazy thing was like on top of learning everything that you need to learn about investing in general, in order to start, once you learn all of the conventional like investing wisdom, you realize that, half of it you have to throw out because, it doesn't apply. So one example I use is like I was learning about how to build a diversified portfolio and how you're supposed to split your money between stocks and bonds for income generation. And then I was like, all right, great. And then realized kind of, after going through all that material that, hey, wait a second, you can't actually invest in bonds as a Muslim because they're based on interest. And so, you just can't invest in them. And so you need to figure out an alternative. And, this turned out to be like dividend generating stocks. So it's stocks and stocks, but, they're growth stocks and they're dividend generating stocks. And that's the distinction. But yeah, this is one example of like the sheer frustration that you have to go through. And remember, like this is in a context of someone who knows very little about investing, and so you're trying to learn, and at the same time you're trying to piece together like what the actual solution is going to be, because it's never straightforward.
That's fascinating. It's like you had to unlearn conventional wisdom to build something new. Let me ask you something provocative. What's the biggest misconception that non-Muslim investors have about halal investing? What do they get completely wrong when they first hear about it?
I think this is more a comment on Muslims in general and not necessarily halal investing. Um, but
Ah,
so the reason why existing solutions don't cater to Muslims is maybe because of some conception that they have, preconception that they have about Muslims, that they don't have money, or that the people that do have money don't actually care a whole lot about halal investing and are okay like investing in normal investments. Maybe those two things are probably the biggest misconceptions that non-Muslim investors have about halal investing.
that's really interesting. Let's flip to something personal. You've built this solution to help Muslims invest according to their values. Tell me about a moment where you received feedback from a user that made you think this is exactly why we're doing this. What's a story that keeps you motivated?
Oh man, there's so many. Like, I actually just got a note like last week, and this was super exciting to me because it was kind of like a moment where everything sort of came together. So we actually went through. So when I first started ML Invest, it was basically just me kind of building up the initial prototypes, and then after a while, we hired a couple of team members. But one of the biggest wins that we had early on was applying to YC and actually getting in. And I remember back in, this was around maybe 2015, so really early on, before years before I'd actually started ML Invest. Um, I I'd heard about YC before, and my conception at the time was, okay, this is the biggest startup accelerator in the world, and so a lot of the companies that go there are probably like based in the US or outside our region at least. And one of the first companies to go into Y Combinator that were from the region was this company called Instabug, and they were a company based out of Egypt. And uh, I actually just had a call last week with one of the founders who was telling me, about ML and how this is like amazing. This is exactly the solution that they were hoping existed. And he was searching for solutions and couldn't find anything, and then ultimately came across ML, and this was like an answer to his prayers. And this is exactly the sort of feedback that we've gotten many times over, and it's just amazing to kind of hear this sort of feedback from other founders and Muslims in general, but also like people you look up to. And so this really just keeps us going, excited about like the possibilities of making ML available to even more people and create an even bigger impact.
That's a powerful story. It's interesting how you went from admiring YC companies to becoming one and then having those same founders become your users. Let me ask you something a bit different. What's the most counterintuitive thing you've learned about building a fintech company for the Muslim market?
Whoa, this is I'm gonna cut the call off here. But honestly, I wouldn't mind just continuing, because I do feel like this is really good. Like this kind of yeah, this is definitely more spicy. Um, yeah, this is good. This is good. I like this. I like this. I'm gonna copy the transcript, and I have a hunch that now feeding this transcript in would actually produce way better results. Okay, so I think like now we don't even need to say non-obvious Twitter posts. I think we could just go with extract 5. Engaging. Okay. Let's see. Man, I don't know what the thing is with the hashtags. Like, it's just so 2000. No hashtags. Or lame crap. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, that was good. The last one is also good.
Yeah. Better. I kind of feel like, yeah, I think they still need, they probably still need filtering. So it's not like, okay, you do the interview and you automatically get a bunch of tweets that go straight out. You probably want to review them. So that, from a user perspective, that's probably what the flow is going to look like. So you sign up to this thing, to the auto marketer, you do these sessions, like these you have these sessions with interviewers, and then maybe you feed like existing material that you have, if you have any. Like we could do this later, but you do these sessions, and then you get materials out of them, and you can filter, like you can select which of these you actually want to post. Maybe you post them as is, or you modify them. I think it would actually be cool if you could modify them inside the app, and then we use that feedback to inform like future generations of content. That, okay, this was the content that you created, and then this was the modification made by the user, and then we can almost use that as a way to improve the post generation that we do in the future. You know what I mean?
Like custom parameters, yeah, for the
Yeah,
prompt each user. Yeah.
I've seen this trick. I think it was a demo video by the LangChain founder, Harrison. So basically, what they do is like you have you have a notes field in the database for each user, and whenever a user makes a modification to some output that is AI generated, it feeds the original input, the original output, and then the user modified output, and then the notes. And it says, update the notes that you have, which are more general. Like the notes are just general rules. Update the notes to capture whatever change the user made here. And then it updates the notes. So it says maybe, don't use third person, use first person, for instance. That's the modification that the user made. And then it updates the rules. And then the next time it generates content, it uses the same rules file, that rules file that's saved in the database.
Updated.
So
Yeah.
generations for each user are actually different based on the modifications that they made. Like you can go deep on this thing, is what I'm saying. Like if you want to tweak things and make it work
Have it
well,
personalized. Yeah.
you can personalize this. It doesn't need to be the same prompt for everyone. You can create custom rules for each person, and then auto update these rules based on the modifications made by users. And maybe you can even expose it to users, so it could be visible in the dashboard. Like these are the rules, and you can modify them if you want directly. Man, it's so bad. Like I was just rambling for so long. I don't know how I got anything out of it, but that's pretty cool. I
I think
enjoyed that.
you
Like
talk.
this
Yeah.
was, yeah, this was a
You
pretty tense
you.
one.
But I think like in a normal case scenario, the user may not talk as much. So I think you talked. You gave out more information because you know how this works. Like the
Oh,
first time you gave more information, so because you kind of know how this will work. But in the normal case where the user is ignorant about the process, so it would be probably maybe
less effective.
the AI. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just maybe the AI could start with um, telling the end user just um, that it will try to understand what's going on with the user. So the user has to talk freely and just express themselves. Maybe like gives them a head, like let them know before starting what they should be doing or how they should talk. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so draft the first message that the user will speak to the user. Keep this short, but give the user some context for what this call is about, and ask them to reply in as much detail as possible.
I like the last line. It's pretty awesome.
You like
I
it?
want to I, I want to uncover the moments, ideas, and stories that people need to hear.
Oh, okay, yeah. I kind of felt like the question was probably unnecessary. Maybe, yeah. So if we go to, okay, so here we'll just say, you want to give this a go? You want to have a chat with this guy?
Sure.
All right, let's switch it to Ibrahim.
Let's see the link.
Oh, it didn't work last time, huh?
Yeah, let's try again. Maybe it will work.
Maybe.
I'll try to act as dumb as possible.
No. Don't do that.
No, like not dumb as in like I'm just trying to act like um you will know when I start talking. let's see.
Modify the prompt to be more persistent if the user doesn't answer questions directly or avoids them. So
Oh,
don't let them off the
it's
hook the very first time. Try to be a little bit persistent.
it's working, huh?
It's working?
Yeah,
Oh, amazing.
but how will you hear it out? I mean,
We
you'll
won't.
just hear my
You'll
voice.
have to go through the conversation. We'll just
All
hear
right,
your part, and then I'll replay it from my screen when you're done.
all right. I'm gonna go for it.
All
But
right?
what startup do I have? I don't have any startup at the moment. There's used trucks, okay.
No, it doesn't need a startup. It could be like your life story.
All right, let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's do this. It's probably getting rich fast and the lack of persistency. Like usually people, when they hear the word entrepreneur, they just start to think rich and they start to think money. Usually that's not the case. Like you probably need to spend time below your minus $0 in order for you to actually get a grasp of what entrepreneurship is. So usually they start excited and then they start to lose the big picture along the way. Yeah. Mhm. Well, I think I've had several moments, but one thing that comes to mind at this point in time is when I got myself too involved into multiple projects, meaning I had one that I wanted to. So I wasn't actually living in a country where I had my own residency, so I had to work to pay my fees, my residency fees. I had to keep that job in order for me to keep my residency and all that official crap that you have in order to stay legal in the country that I was staying in. At the same time, I wanted to do my own business and I started working on my business. So I had to kind of double spend for my stay, and then I had to spend on the business, which at the time I remember I wanted to start like a food business. I named it YouCook. I actually had few customers, but because I was all over the place, I didn't really, I lost track of how successful the business was actually starting to be. Yeah, the moment where I had to give up YouCook was the moment when I had to. So I had a few, I had more than few fees that I had that I needed to pay, and one of which was I remember like I need to pay for my insurance, I needed to pay for my visa, my all other legal documents. So whatever money I had saved up, I had actually consumed all of it because I needed to spend a little bit for YouCook. So YouCook was actually like a service where you would you would subscribe, and then you would get like 3 recipes delivered to your home, and you will just cook, follow on the recipe, and you will have a different dish every time. Um, I had few orders, but I couldn't really keep up because I was doing the deliveries myself. I couldn't get someone to help because I couldn't afford to pay them. So I had to do the deliveries myself. I had to prepare the recipes myself. So I had to actually buy the ingredients and try the recipe at home. I couldn't hire a cook or a chef. I couldn't pay for a service for a chef to actually make the dishes for me. And at the time, I really couldn't find an investor because no one would actually pay for. I didn't have a good history when it comes to businesses, so for that reason only, I couldn't really find enough funding and enough support. So I was doing everything myself from A to Z, um, prepping the recipe, cooking it, trying it at home, taking pictures, buying the ingredients for the users, marketing, development, like the whole thing. I was doing myself. So I was overwhelmed. I felt anxious, stressed. So I just had to give it up to balance everything else. Because, and also just
All
a
right,
side note,
I'm
yeah,
just
we're
gonna
done.
maybe you can
This is
wrap up the call,
interesting,
and
man.
then I want you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do the persistent version too.
Okay.
All right. Did you end the call?
All right. My call has been stopped.
Excellent. I'll send you another link. You can
What's the
start.
difference this time?
So this one is persist. Like if you don't answer the question or you try to beat around the bush,
Yeah.
it won't let you go.
Okay.
So maybe
All
try
right.
answering the question like surface level, or try being evasive somehow.
Right. Evasive. Okay. Okay. Go on. Let's see.
Okay. And
You will
I'll
get the transcript later. Yeah. You will
yeah,
be able
we'll
to.
pull up the transcript.
But dude, it's really feels amazing. Like seriously.
You feel like
Um,
telling it your life story, huh?
yeah, it's no, it's kind of gives you, it sheds the lights on things that you didn't really think existed until you start talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's an eye opener, basically.
I love it. Love to hear it, man.
All right, I'm going in for it.
All right.
So- okay. I like entrepreneurship, business stuff, trading, coding. I'm not a professional, but I like it. Um, you need money. You can't bootstrap most. Yeah, you can't bootstrap all the time. Um, maybe I didn't do a lot of research, like I didn't really get myself out there. Um, like I still have interest in entrepreneurship. I like it, and I want to do something big in it. I want to make money out of it. Um, I'm not sure if I'm like thinking about it the right way or not, but I'm really trying my very best. No, I've actually had many attempts before. I've had I've had multiple, to be honest, many insights, and I've learned a lot of things. And maybe I wish I learned more than I learned those stuff early on, and probably I would have surrounded, I would have learned more, or maybe I would have known the information early on. Yeah, I've actually had multiple where I had to sell stuff. I've done multiple attempts, to be honest. Okay, it was a very interesting experience because it's something that I've been doing and I was passionate about. And I started, and I think I was doing pretty good. Um, but um, I'm still in the process. Yeah, it's something for the community. It helps the community a lot. I like it, man. It's very persistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very persistent.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love it.
You actually liked
Check
that
out
it
the
was persistent? I thought it
Yeah,
would
it's
have the
amazing.
opposite effect.
No, it was very like it's like it's really wanting to know. It's like tell me or I'm gonna slap you.
Let's play back at least a little bit of that conversation.
Yeah,
See what
go on.
that's like. Where is it? Okay, here. Hmm. I think it's still.
Wait, hold on. Let me check the live.
Just so I can tailor our conversation to what matters most.
I like entrepreneurship, business stuff, trading, coding. I'm not a professional, but I like it.
Interesting mix of interests there. Let me start with something unexpected. What's the most counterintuitive lesson you've learned about entrepreneurship that goes against what most experts teach?
Um, you need money. You
That's a
can't
bold take.
bootstrap most. Yeah, you can't bootstrap all the time.
Can you tell me about a specific moment when you realized this truth, maybe a time when the just bootstrap it advice actually backfired or caused problems? What happened?
Um, Maybe I didn't do a lot of research. Like I didn't really get myself out there. Um, like I still have interest in entrepreneurship. I like.
Let me pivot. Got it. So you're still early in your journey, but passionate about it. Let me pivot a bit. What's
No,
the
I've actually had many attempts before.
Tell me about one of those attempts, specifically the one that taught you the hardest but most valuable lesson. What happened and what
I've
did it
had
teach you?
I've had multiple, to be honest, many insights, and I've learned a lot of things. And maybe I wish I learned more than I learned.
Let me try to get more specific. Can you tell me about just one business attempt? What exactly was it? What were you trying to build or sell? I want to
What the hell did you do?
understand a real example from your experience.
Yeah, I've actually had multiple where I had to sell stuff.
I'm being very
Um,
like,
I've done multiple attempts, to be honest.
Pick
I
just one
notice you're being
specific
quite
business
general.
attempt, maybe what you're
I
selling or
like
building
that.
right now. I notice you're being quite general in your answers. I want to really understand what is the actual product or service.
Oh, I
Is there a
like it.
reason you're
I like it. I like it. Okay, yeah, I can understand. I guess it would have been nice to eventually just let him win so that, like, actually tell him what it was to see if he stops or if he just keeps going. But, I'm fairly confident that it probably would have worked out.
no, it's
That
pretty
was
awesome.
nice.
Like, yeah, like it really knows you're actually beating around the bush and you're not telling it what it wants to know. So that's key, man.
Yeah. Clone your voice, listen to a PDF. Oh, you can generate voiceovers. Nice.
In a world where decisions shape destiny, authority commands respect.
Breathe in serenity. Let the cures of the day gently
Ooh.
fade away.
Wow.
Peace isn't a destination, it's the journey we take every day.
Elegance is not just in appearance, it's in the way words
Kindness grows when nurtured with warmth and understanding.
They
He
got
opened the book
is
and
it
began
Indian?
reading with curiosity.
Oh. Yeah, I just spotted Smallest AI and then I signed up to it to kind of see what it was like. It has some pretty good voices. Like some
But
really
I think the
chill
voice
ones.
we have is oh
What?
yeah, better than the one in
I think the
the
one we're
one on
using is
Rust, I think.
Play HT, which is decent. Like I think it was pretty okay. I'm sure there are better voices, but you know, I just wanted to find like one that actually works. Depends on your purpose. Like there's some really chill ones which, make you feel relaxed, good for like yoga. And then there's like more accented ones. If you want like a particular accent to make you feel comfortable, then that's an option that you can pick. All right, man. I really need to use the loo, so we'll take 5, and then continue on this journey together. All right, folks. I'll see you in 5. Hey folks, I'm back. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can
Oh,
now.
lovely. Fantastic. Excellent. Okay, so what was the verdict? Edgy, persistent? I think we need to try it out a little bit more, the persistent one. We could try giving it like the answer from the first try and see if it continues to insist on a better answer, or, you know, we could just test it out a little bit more. But okay, cool. So that was promising. Uh, Next up, yeah. So you can imagine like some sort of like a slider, and you could pick how aggressive or um, how edgy you want the interview to be, and then the we adjust the interviewer prompt based on like which style you pick. Yeah, that would be so
Or
cool.
still a dribble.
I mean, so much of this is like dependent on how the person is going to engage, and like it's tough to judge if if there's going to be enough interesting if they're going to engage with the interviewer properly or not. Uh, but I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
No, I
That's
think the fact that it's voice, it's easy to engage. To be honest, um, um, like I went in with the sole purpose of destroying this thing, but it got me engaged into the conversation.
you'll get some words out. I mean, whether it's actually
Yeah.
useful enough to
So
generate meaningful tweets,
yeah.
LinkedIn posts, or blog posts is something else. Um, so I think we need to experiment with like the output. So let's see. Again, like some of this is going to be dependent on um, having a more in-depth conversation. So if the conversation is for a couple of minutes, the output is going to be very limited. But if the conversation was for like 20 or 30 minutes, um, yeah, you're going to have a lot more material to work with. So I think we need to give this like a really good shot, and then like we'd be able to actually test the prompting for output. Like we can tweak the prompting for output. It's again like that makes me suspicious. Like if the entire product requires that you sit down for half an hour and you record yourself talking to um, a bot, like doing an actual interview, like is that going to be useful or not? I don't know. Maybe that becomes the core product. Like so we would say, you know, just have a quick. So it's not going to be a quick conversation, actually. It's going to be just go through an interview with our AI podcast host, and you will get enough content for like a month, something like that. If you make that sort of promise that okay, you're going to go through like a half-hour interview, that's the expectation up front. Like you don't set the expectation that it's going to be a quick call. You set the expectation that it's going to be an interview with an AI podcast host, and the output would be enough content for, a month, for instance. You think that's
It's
fair?
like yeah, it's like you spend 30 minutes for to gain a month of content.
Pretty good deal, huh? I mean, instead of racking your brain trying to think, oh, what am I going to post and how often and what am I going to post after that and blah blah, like you'd be able to get a month's worth of content after a quick chat.
And
Sounds
also, I
pretty
think,
cool.
yeah, I mean the values. Um, I mean, the values coming out of this interview, I think, is more. It would be more than like okay, it might be too early to say this, but it's more than just the posts and the content. It's also the insights because you will be, it's like it's your shrink. You will be better after the interview, better in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
think for many
insight,
people, it would be the first time they're
ideas.
reflecting on these sort of
Yes,
topics and going in
exactly,
depth about them.
exactly. So it's beyond your content, like content pro plus 13, whatever.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get clarity on past decisions. So something like that, something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's better.
And I can already see this in like a demo video and then going viral on like LinkedIn and Twitter. You just show show a gauge with interview spiciness level
You unravel the past to illuminate the future. Oh, nice.
and uh, some tidbits or sound bites. Okay, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I can already feel it. But a big part of this is going to be like actually creating these little posts and posting them because I think that's going to be the primary customer acquisition strategy. It's going to be showing the product. It's not like randomly posting or putting an ad or doing stuff like that. It's going to be actually creating, like we're going to spend a lot of time maybe creating these small demos, like this 5 to 10 second demo, and then just showing off the product in creative ways. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so it's going to be different
Because
than
it's, yeah,
Arabic OCR or OCR Arabic. What is it called? OCR Arabic?
yes, correct.
No, I was telling you about the other day about the new Mistral OCR thing. A lot of
Yeah,
people were talking about it, and then I was like, all right, we don't need we don't need Mistral OCR, man.
we have
Gemini is just
OCR
so
already.
good. Like Flash 2 is just so good. There's no reason why. Oh, you see? Maybe it's good for formatting. Oh wow, that's pretty good. It did the image too. That's
Yeah,
pretty nice. Look, the symbol on the images. It even gets the symbols on the images. That's
yeah.
insane.
It's like the whole.
I mean, maybe if you have a document and you want like to maintain the formatting and the structure, this would be useful. Yeah. Hmm. Google Document AI? I don't know what that is. Hmm.
Interesting.
Interesting. They didn't dare compare it to Gemini Flash. Oh, really? Overall? No way. Oh, maybe the math stuff. Scanned tables. Okay.
They
So it's
shine
focusing on like the actual
format
parsing for
tables.
math and
Yeah,
tables. Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. It's worth a shot. Like maybe a good option. It's good to have. Probably worth experimenting with. It's good it supports Arabic too, so yeah,
yes,
that's nice.
we can. Yeah,
Maybe we can create another page for um,
formats. That's paid.
maintaining formatting. Yeah,
Yeah, pro.
yeah,
That goes to
a
OCR
pro. Yeah,
Pro.
it definitely sounds like it should be a pro feature. Yeah, cool. All right. All right, man. I mean, so I think for our next steps, uh, do you want to actually give this like a proper test?
No, I think it's I think the it's okay. So I think the results were pretty good. Like we don't really have to do a thorough testing given it's a conversational style that the AI responds to the way you talk to it.
No, I mean
So
like actually have it generated stuff and then you post it.
yeah, we can try that.
Like so that would require, I mean, basically go through the product as if you were the user. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
you can pick the version of the interviewer that you're most comfortable with. Um, I'm gonna try edgy and persistent. I'll see, how that goes. But you give it like real answers, you know? You
Yeah.
you tell your real story. And then based on that,
We
and you
can
can
do
pick a
it for
topic, like it doesn't need to be your whole life story. It could be like a particular aspect that you want to start tweeting about and you want to be known as a thought leader about. So you can pick the topic and then have it have it ask you questions, and then once you have like the entire maybe half-hour transcript or whatever it is, and you feel like you have enough material, then we move on to the next step. You for your stuff, me for my stuff, and then we can tweak the prompts a little bit just to figure out like what works best. But we would essentially have a proper sample that we can then use for the next steps, which is, generating the LinkedIn posts or the tweets or whatever. And we'll see, like, it'll give us some reference for how much material you get for a half-hour conversation. And do you get a month's worth? Do you get a week's worth? Is it just a couple of days? We'll figure it out. Like this giving it an actual shot means, we'll have much more context on like what the next steps look like. It's not going to be like a made up example. It's going to be stuff like you actually generate and then you post, like you commit to posting.
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah,
You
we
up for
should do
it?
that.
You going to do
Yeah,
it?
of course.
Like actually post
Yeah, I'm trying to think
topic.
what topic should it be? Is
I
it
mean, back in the day, you were pretty big on OCR, not OCR, was it OCR? No, it wasn't OCR. It's the OpenCV. Not many know
yeah,
this,
yeah.
but should we tell them about this? That oh, Ibrahim Mokhtadov. Am I
Yeah, you should
spelling
add
this right?
YouTube, I think. You should add YouTube.
You're not showing up,
Um,
man. It's been a while
yeah, it's
since you
okay.
posted, huh?
Yeah.
Is this the spelling or is it
OpenCV.
wrong?
Just add OpenCV then, I guess.
OpenCV. Nothing, man. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, YouTube
Was
was
abducted
abducted
by
by
aliens,
aliens.
unfortunately.
Oh well. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to it some other time. But maybe that's a topic that you could explore, or among others. Like it could be AI. I know you're excited about the possibility of learning about AI and experimenting with it. So maybe that's an opportunity. You know. But it's AI, man. The problem with AI is like a lot of it is just hype based. Oh, this
Yeah.
company released this model and it's blew up the world, right? And in reality, like the thing is crap, or maybe it's not even available yet, or maybe they haven't even tried it. Like they're just posting some random demo videos.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just hype, and that's what's gonna get you attention. But the difficult part is actually building with the thing and then um, testing out in real world scenarios. Uh, yeah, and going beyond just the surface level stuff.
Maybe, maybe I can either like talk about um, the trucks thing or OCR, like try to move the trucks thing to something big, uh, um, maybe, or like talk about OCR, Arabic OCR,
Mm.
the or any. I can pick one of these two.
Maybe Arabic
Maybe.
OCR. Like you'd probably have more stuff to talk about. I don't know about the trucks thing. Like if you have, is there enough? So maybe give the users some background on the trucks thing. So the sort of quick overview, and then like is there enough material there for you to like talk about it in depth?
Well, that's the point of using this tool, is to come
Yeah,
up
but if it's
with the
just gonna
code.
ask you one question and you go, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, no. There has to be something to talk about, right? Um,
Now, there's much to talk about. Like, it's how I plan to, if I want to expand it, what problems currently faced, what's really going on, stuff like that.
hmm. Okay,
You know, there,
cool.
there there are things to talk about. It's either we do that, I talk about that, or I talk about the Arabic OCR.
Okay, it's up to you. You can pick whatever you like. But as long as, this actually ends up getting posted, which is the goal,
Yeah, of
is
course,
like,
of
something that
course.
you would want to post about, and,
Mm.
you would um, line up maybe a month's worth of content for. So long as that's the case,
Okay,
maybe.
I will do I will do both, but I will start with, I mean, for this run, for this iteration, I will do the Arabic OCR.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then as
sounds good.
we like enhance the service, whatever, I can do it for the other one.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I'll do it for Halal investing, but this time kind of, do an actual run. And I think that would like be the most obvious thing for me to do. And then maybe in future do something about like some of the AI projects that I've done in the past. Uh, Possibly, yeah. But it's basically like my overall interests are just overlap between AI and like maybe investing to some degree or wealth building in general. And then also just Muslim tech tools in general.
Ah,
I kind of feel like Muslim, the overlap between Muslim and tech is, and AI, like so Muslim AI, Muslim tech, um, is very small, but like there's a huge opportunity to create like,
I mean, it's very
s-
small to non-existent. I remember, what's his the Sheikh? He just talked about this tool for reading Quran. I think it's AI powered as well.
Tertil.
Tartil, yeah. No, no, not Tartil. No, no. Tartil is a bit older. There was another one. So I think that when people hear the word Islamic, so my point is this: when people hear Islamic tech, the first thing that comes to mind is probably a digital Quran or AI Quran. But there's so many lacks when it comes to the Islamic tools. Like
Yeah,
you have Islamic finance, you got Islamic dieting, health, whatever. You got so many stuff that you can be innovative in that's very lacking, almost non-existent.
yeah,
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be like an app for Hadith or Quran. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, 100%. I feel like a lot of the basic stuff is missing too. Like, the other day I was trying to um yeah, I actually have this. Let me pull it up from V0. Like something super basic. I was trying to create. So for context, people that are not familiar, there's like the idea of Islamic inheritance, and there are codified rules talking about like how much each person gets when they inherit someone else. So it's trying to figure out like what's the easiest way for us to visualize this. And a lot of the tools were just like, these really detailed sort of, ancient tools that were hard to use. But, I tried to come up with something using AI, and, it was actually pretty straightforward. Like you can set, okay, two sons, two daughters, or one son, one daughter. And it says, okay, grandchildren are not considered when deceased have living children. So some UI affordances. If you have a father, then they don't care about grandparents or siblings. Did you know that? Like, I didn't know that.
Dude, this is incredible, man.
So it's like it's just a super simple tool. and it just hides like all the sections that are not applicable. So if you remove children, then grandchildren are taken into consideration.
Did you
Uh,
push this one out?
no, no, no. This is just in Visual Dev. Like I was just experimenting with it.
This is incredible, man. This is like a huge. I was just out of a dilemma, actually two dilemmas with the family because of these cases, and it's incredible. Like if this could be functional, like, are you doing this like for your personal thing, or it's like a
Yeah,
project
man,
you're
I
doing?
literally just asked a bunch of questions. Like I was like, all right, I need your help kind of understanding these rules. Can you create a simple thing? And then it would tell you, it would break it down for you. So if you put two children and then maybe a father and a mother, and then calculate, it would show the split between like all of the different people. I haven't
Dude,
verified any of this, so I don't know if it's
let's
accurate,
do
but
this as an app, man. We should add it to the ideas.
oh yeah. I kind of
Yeah.
feel like it's super simple though. Like,
No, 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 no.
the
It's
point I was
it's
trying to make was, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. Like there's
it
super
is.
simple stuff that you can do. And especially now using AI, just, really sort of create I don't think the experience here is that amazing, but maybe you can make it visually more appealing.
Yeah,
And
I can't think. Yeah,
yeah, I
but the
mean,
problem is like this is a real hurdle to many. Like seriously, this is a massive headache to many. Even like if you had to ask like a scholar or anything, they would sit hours just to understand and just fill in the blanks. And
oh yeah.
it's yeah, I mean, this tool could be used by scholars and could be used by individuals. You can just imagine how, like, we could pass it by a scholar who specializes in this specific, category, maybe one or two scholars or three, four, whatever.
Mhm.
And
I found a site where
I mean,
I found a site, I think it was this one. No, how to calculate inheritance.
mostly
I
I
mean, the
get
thing
this
is, like,
from.
you see blog posts, and no one wants to see a blog. I mean, you're not trying to find a blog post. You just want a simple tool. Yeah, I don't know where it was. I think it was this one, but it's not opening for some. Okay, this one. So you can see the rules are actually
Uh,
available here. So you can literally copy paste the rules into an AI, and then use it to create test scenarios, and then compare like the output from the rules with your actual tool, so you can actually see if it works, if it's calculating it properly. And the cool part is it shows the source, so this is amazing. Like you can show it inside the UI. It's pretty, this is a great layout, and you can easily create something that's 10 times better than whatever this is.
awesome.
Yeah, cool. All right, man. What we're getting at. Yeah, yeah. So
We're
these
getting
are my interests in general, but I think well, I'll start with investing is just sort of the obvious thing, and then we'll branch out to maybe more just Muslim tech in general.
Yeah, that's actually, it's like a light bulb for me. Like, ding. Yeah, I mean, like, if there was always this struggle of actually doing something that people would actually make use of, and something like a legacy that you leave behind. You know what I'm saying? And dude, it's yeah, yeah. I mean, the lack is so obvious. Like, why aren't people doing much about it?
Yeah. And the cool part is like so SEO could work really well for this, as
Yeah,
this sort of example. And I think there are a bunch of other examples where it's similarly complex. Like the idea is not straightforward. And people probably search about this sort of thing all the time. Um,
and it's easy to market it. I mean, talking about the inheritance thing, one could just hit the imams in the masjid and just tell them, show them the app, and they would go, obviously, boom. It's easy, and it's easy talking to the imams. Like, it's not. very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And it could just be
any,
free, and then maybe like at some point you try and figure out some way that's value added, and that you can provide
yeah,
value,
free
but
is
at the same
fine.
time like connect with some sort of service provider and make money that way. So maybe like connect people with
Bank,
companies that
yeah,
create wills, right? People that write
yeah,
wills. So yeah, you can find will providers in different countries, and then create like a directory. Maybe that's one way to monetize, but the bigger thing is like just create something, release it, make it freely available. People use it, and then eventually, if you get enough usage,
that's
then you
value
can find ways to yeah
monetize, but that's
monetize.
value enough. I mean, on its own, it's valuable. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Worst case, you're just doing a service to everyone else that's
that's
searching
that's
for this.
that's that's a good case scenario. It's not-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool, cool.
yeah,
All right, man.
awesome, man.
I think that's a wrap then. We probably have everything we need. So we'll do these conversations offline. Let me just put this down because I feel like I have amnesia between these calls. We talk about something and then just so record conversation 30 minutes, around 30 minutes um with AI interviewer. So this would be for both you and me. And then no, not two conversations. So this is just gonna be
Me and you.
all right. And we'll have this done before the next call, and then we'll be able to work on the next piece. The UI is gonna be so fun, man. I'm gonna have so much fun with the UI and implement the
Like
wireframes, create landing page.
I'm
Yeah,
already like thinking different screens already.
yeah, exactly. Like the the
Yeah,
the gauge thing. Um, yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. All right,
bars,
man.
button. Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, man. Cool. All right, viewers, dear viewers, this is a wrap. We'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.
Cheers.
Ow.